History is a rearview mirror on life and events. It's also a lesson for the future, or so it would seem. It's evident in a new documentary, Miracle in the Desert, The Rise and Fall of the Salton Sea. Greg Bassenian is the filmmaker. Welcome, Greg. It's good to see you. It really is a wonderful documentary, but it also is a lesson in something that should not have happened.
Absolutely, Joe. Thanks for having me. And I agree. You know, the documentary in terms of the narrative is pretty stunning and staggering in terms of past history and lessons learned, specifically in terms of the environment and the impact that we have.
And so why, after so many mistakes, did they continue to try to make the sea happen?
You know, Joe, I think that inherently people want to have a dream and they want to have an ambition. And I think specifically with the Salton Sea, a lot of people always saw a lot of potential in this body of water, in this very unique area. And so there was that tendency to strive and yearn for something to happen. And unfortunately, as you see in the film, there's effectively just a series of events that always kind of prevented that.
It seems also that a lot of egos got in the way as well.
Yeah, you could say that. You know, there were a lot of huge ambitions, both early on with engineering projects, in the middle history of the sea in the 50s and 60s with real estate development projects, and people who might have been overreaching a little bit with what they were trying to do.
At one point, it was a destination, it was a place to go, it was a driving force in Southern California. What was the turning point that changed everything?
The turning point that really changed everything occurred at the end of the 60s and in the mid-70s, it seems, when Hurricane Kathleen ended up hitting the valley. And it was fairly destructive. As you see in the film, we have some great archival footage. And what that did was it really pushed the communities there over the brink. Some of the property ownership was already dwindling. Some of the tourism was already dwindling. And when that storm passed through the valley and did that kind of damage, it kind of was the straw that broke the camel's back, in a sense.
So the hope with this film is what?
Well, the hope is sort of twofold. The first hope was really to educate people about the sea, dispel some of the myths about the sea. You know, there tends to be a lot of myths that it's polluted or that it's a weird place, and that's just not true. The second goal was really to raise awareness for sort of the environmental issues that are cropping up right now as the sea is beginning to shrink very rapidly.
What will happen in the future if we don't do something about it, do you think?
If we don't do anything about the Salton Sea, effectively the ecosystem there will collapse. But what's more frightening is if the lake dries up, there could be huge impacts in terms of air quality throughout the region, both in the Coachella and the Imperial Valleys.
Does it look like anything is going to be done with it in the near future?
Due to the current situation with the pandemic and the economic implications of what's going on right now, that might be set back quite a bit, and it was already behind schedule. It's sort of history repeating itself because back in 2009, they had come up with a large plan for Salton Sea restoration, a $9 billion plan, but then that economic disaster hit and that plan went out the window. So it seems to be another obstacle in the road for Salton Sea restoration and mitigation. So if things were happening, they're going to come to a halt again, it seems.
So, Greg, if people want to find out about the film and where it might be showing, tell us.
You can visit our website, miracleinthedesert.com, or you can go to our Facebook page, which is just Miracle in the Desert. We're going to be posting about the release date, which actually just got set this past week. It's tentatively September 22nd, so look out for that. You can also reach out to Eco Media Compass, which is the organization that we were working with on the film quite a bit.
Well, it's a fascinating film, and it's one that people should see because sometimes you just don't want to fool with Mother Nature.
I agree, and thanks for having me, Joe. I really appreciate it. Again, the name of the film is Miracle in the Desert, The Rise and Fall of the Salton Sea. And if people have the opportunity, please view it. It's going to be out on September 22nd. It's going to be showing at Amdocs Festival in Palm Springs in September as well. And we hope that it raises awareness both for the Salton Sea, but also gives a voice to the people in the area.
And stay right there. We're back after this.